Hey guys, it's Kendra Hermit Wife, and I have someone special with me. This is my husband Ryan. Say hi.
Hi.
He's very nervous to be on camera, so this may be an awkward video. So today we are doing a review. He's wearing his human tape top. Alright, don't interrupt me. Jesus. He's excited and very nervous. We're doing a review on the X-Men Apocalypse movie we just saw on, Thursday? We saw it?
I think so.
Yes, I think it was Thursday. he's so nervous. It's so cute, isn't it? It's so cute. Okay. So, yeah, he is taller than me. He's just sitting in a weird chair that's lower than mine, and he's a little far back. There's not much room here at my desk.
Yeah. So she's gonna do the likes, and I'm gonna do the dislikes of Apocalypse.
Kind of hard to do it that way.
It's okay.
We had a conversation yesterday, kind of what we're gonna do today, and he has a lot of dislikes about the movie, so it's gonna end up kind of like that, but we're just gonna talk about what we got from the movie and go from there, because that's what we did yesterday, and it just spun off out of control. So this may be a long movie, can't promise it'll be short. Before we start, I had an issue with my makeup today. I was doing black eyeliner wing, and you can still probably see there's some eyeliner on the top there, over by my lashes. It got jacked up. No matter what I did, I could not get. One wing was perfect, and the other one was just, I don't know what happened. Some days you just can't do it. So I just put on light brown and a little bit of white and just mascara. Just not into the makeup today. So, natural.
Today is just one of her days.
Just one of those days. I woke up happy, but my makeup didn't follow. I don't know. So, babe.
Yes. Beautiful.
Oh, wait. We're not talking about the ending, where it's still in theaters. We're not going to disclose how it ends. So you have to go see it.
I can tell you, though, that Fox News pisses me off. 25 minutes. 25 minutes at the end credits for the Easter egg.
There is an Easter egg at the end, but we had to go through all the credits. It wasn't like a mid-credit, like just after the cast, and then it pops up. The whole credits. We were sitting there for almost a half an hour. It was worth it, though. It was.
I guess.
It was. And we're not going to tell you what that is either, but it's really good and talks about the next one.
So, for all of you superhero fans, you do know, unfortunately, Hugh Jackman is leaving. He is no longer going to be Wolverine. Everyone knows that.
Try and look at the camera when you talk.
That is superhero. You know, that has anything to do with superheroes. Hugh Jackman is leaving, unfortunately.
Who plays Wolverine, by the way.
Yes, that is his last video, this one here, his last movie. Unfortunately, that kind of stinks, but I guess
the way they had the Easter egg set up, it's kind of good that he's leaving, because they kind of need him. They need him gone. I can't get into it. I can't.
My dislike about this whole Apocalypse thing.
Sorry, I cracked my neck.
My whole dislike about this Apocalypse thing was the fact that you didn't get to see 3 of my favorite X-Men in there.
Well, let's go over who was in it, and then we'll go over who wasn't. So, there was this girl in it who I literally spent half the movie trying to figure out who she was. I ended up getting my phone out and Googling it in the middle of the movie. It never tells you, it never addresses really who she is unless you're like a die-hard supervillain person. Like, he is pretty good, but we were going through a couple different ones and weren't exactly sure who she was. She's kind of dressed like Raven would be, but Raven's DC.
Raven on DC, yeah.
Right, Raven's DC, not Marvel. This is on Marvel. So we're like, okay, who is she then? She, is wearing very skimpy, kind of like leather, has like straps around her legs. One side of her arm has like a purple sword that she can like materialize, and she has purple in her hair. And we had no clue who she was. Her name was what? Psycho something? Psylocke. Never even heard of her. But the storyline didn't really. It wasn't about her. She just she was on the bad team, and at the end, I'm not gonna tell you the ending, but at the end, she literally just walks off. So it kind of leads off like that she's gonna be kind of a big deal in the next one, maybe. Like she's obviously gonna be in the next one because she just kind of walks off at the end, all pissy, and that's it.
The thing that I don't understand is that why they would put Quicksilver, also played by Evan Peters, in this X-Men movie when in the first Captain America, Quicksilver dies.
Does he?
Yeah, everyone knows that.
So this is like a prequel. The whole timeline of these X-Men movies are all messed up. I just want to buy all the X-Men movies and put them in chronological order of when they happened, not when they are made, because this was made before. This was made after Days of Future Past, but it was made after Wolverine, and it was made before X-Men 1 and 2, and I don't understand.
Well, because I guess with this one and Days of Future Past, they're playing off of the fact where the X-Men was actually created, because at the end, you see, well, towards the end, you see a certain event happening that initiates that you can somewhat put it between the timeline of Days of Future Past and Wolverine. So, yeah.
It's very interesting. I know we're leading you on to the ending and not telling you, and it's going to really bother you, but we don't want to give it away. We're still in theaters. If you have already seen it, I'm sorry that we're not talking about the ending, but I'm sure you understand why. We don't want to ruin it for people who haven't seen it yet.
So the X-Men that were in this are as follows. There was Quicksilver. Okay, there was Quicksilver. You see Havoc for about maybe.
And I didn't know who Havoc was. Havoc is Scott's the one with the laser out of his eyes.
Cyclops' brother.
Cyclops' brother.
You see
the older brother.
You see Cyclops. You see Havoc for about maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes at the most.
I think he has like maybe a half an hour. It's really short scenes.
Maybe a half an hour. So you see Cyclops. You see Havoc, which I like the fact that they did Havoc because he was an all-time classic for me.
And they talked about him in other movies about Scott's brother and never really got into detail of him. So that was really nice.
And then they did Nightcrawler. Big fan of Nightcrawler. I love
the actor that they had him in as this one is much better than the one they had in the other one.
And then they did Beast.
Was nice. Same guy.
Beast.
Same actor. Great.
And then they did Mystique.
Same actor. Loved Jennifer Lawrence.
They had Storm.
She was nice, even though she was on the evil side.
Magneto. Wolverine for about 2 seconds.
Just at the very ending, kind of, which leads into the Easter egg, so we're not going to give that away.
And then there was another one, Psylocke. She counts, and then the guy that was flying there, I can never remember his name. I think
in one of the X-Men movies, he gets made fun of because he has really tiny like chicken wings, and like his wings weren't big yet, but. In this movie at the very beginning, he's like locked up in a cage and is like forced to fight people, and they call him the Dark Angel or something. And then Apocalypse, who is actually he's the biggest evil character, who's like from Egyptian times. That's who it's about. It's about him, really. He's evil and takes on quite a few of now good superheroes, but they were evil at one time. Like Storm is on the evil side in this. Storm, the Angel guy, Psycho, whatever her name is, I can never remember.
And Jean Grey, and then of course Dr. Xavier.
Right, but what I was trying to say is, the Chicken Boy is what they call him, and then now he's an angel, like so I guess he grew into the wings, but then that was after. So you know what I mean? X-Men 1 and 2, he was in one of those, and he had very small wings. But this one's a prequel to that one, but his wings were fully grown. So maybe that's his son, because I never addressed his name. So maybe the one with the chicken wings is this Angels we just saw son, maybe? Or maybe they're related somehow, because there's no way he could go from having full wings to go to have chicken wings that are barely grown. So it's got to be two different guys, but I'm sure they're connected somehow, where they both kind of have the same situation. But Apocalypse has like those 4 or 5 characters that end up being superheroes on the evil side in this Apocalypse movie. And he like touches them and kind of transforms their powers, makes them pre-max. He gives Storm a lot more powers. The Angel guy, he turns his wings into metal, and he can like a couple of his like his feathers spike out and like as knives and can like stab people. It's kind of cool. And then he has a Psycho. I can never remember her goddamn name. That Psycho girl. Psylocke. Yeah, her name doesn't register in mine for some reason.
So, again, for those of you that are avid Marvel X-Men fans, if you pay attention really, really closely, they Again, like we said, they hint at something. They hint at something really big. And the other thing that I like about the X-Men movie is that it really puts you in a certain time setting. It took you to at the beginning. At the beginning, I'll tell you the beginning because no one really
Yeah.
cares about the
Go
beginning.
ahead. Just I'm not telling the ending.
In the beginning, it sets you in Egyptian time, ancient Egyptian time, with a ritual that's taking place to bring forth a new king. Okay,
Which is Apocalypse.
which is Apocalypse.
He's like
Now,
greenish blue.
everybody knows that if you follow Egyptian times, that Apocalypse is death and destruction, obviously. So
And
I
renewal.
I really like the fact that they put you in a certain time setting, and I like the fact that you get to see most of your X-Men superheroes. I know that if they are doing this based off of Days of Future Past, which they are. You can tell by the way that it's going about they are, because
They're connecting them pretty well.
Because at the end something happens to lead it to being Days of Future Past picking up.
Right.
Before Quicksilver dies in the Captain America movie, or at least I think he dies anyway. I'm pretty sure he is dead, because in this new Captain America movie, he wasn't there with the Scarlet Witch.
But maybe he just wasn't going to be in it.
Anyway.
I don't want to believe that we're going to have to kill off Evan Peters as Quicksilver, because I just love Evan Peters. And
anyway.
Another good thing about the movie I really liked is that they got into Scott and Phoenix's love affair, but when they first met, they weren't in a love affair yet. They were
Jean Grey.
Yes. Yeah. Phoenix. Yes, Jean Grey, but her and Scott just barely meeting and just starting to get to know each other, and I like seeing the beginning before they really got into it, because in the X movies they were kind of just already together, and they didn't really get into the background of it, so we got to see the background, and that was really cool. And we got to see how Jean Grey Phoenix actually became the Phoenix when, towards the end, I'm not going to give the whole thing away, but she releases her power and finally accepts herself, and there's an amazing scene where she's fighting Apocalypse and the fire builds around her. I'm not going to give it away, and just I'm not! Shut up! I hate it when he interrupts me, I'm sorry, guys. And just turns into, fire all around her, and it's shaped like a phoenix. It's so nice. That's all I'm saying. So relax.
That's like half of the...
No, it's not! No, it's not. It's one itty-bitty little scene about how awesome Jean Grey looks in the end.
Anyway. Yeah, so my personal favorites, but like I said, they could be playing off of Days of Future Past, which chances are, in the end, by one scene, you guys can make your own debate about it, but I feel like they're playing off of Days of Future Past, in which case we don't get to see Iceman, we don't get to see Colossus,
Nope.
We don't get to see, what the hell
Teenage Mutant.
Oh,
Wait,
no, she's not into Teenage... Yeah.
In the Deadpool movie.
Negasonic Teenage Warhead. There.
Her.
She's not in there, but she doesn't come in. If Fox ever did a brand new X-Men movie, that's where she would be.
And that's why I think Apocalypse. And that's why I think Colossus wasn't in it, because he's with her.
Right.
He trains her.
But anyway, you didn't see Iceman, you didn't see Colossus, and you didn't see Rogue. My three favorite superheroes as far as the X-Men series goes.
Rogue came in a lot later anyway, though.
Yes, along with Colossus and Iceman. But if you think about it, Havoc was there. That means that Iceman was either with them at that time and we just didn't see him because he was probably one of the extra students that we don't hear about until later, or he had been yet to be discovered.
Remember, he was really young when he was discovered, so I don't think that I think he's probably going to be the next one.
Maybe.
See, it's all the movies are all different times, they're all jumbled up. The storyline is out of whack completely. I hate that X-Men's doing this. I really should have done it in the order it would have happened. I hate all these prequels of other prequels, and they're in between this one and in between this other one, so none of them are really true prequels. I mean, there's not the first one, the second one, the third one. They're like, this one is the fifth one, but it should have been after the third one, but it should have been before the fifth one. What?
So I know another thing that most people are talking about is the next Captain America movie called Infinite War. Okay, that's all we know about it, is that the title is actually named Infinite War. We don't know. We obviously know that the team of the Avengers is going to be in there, and in case you all
which includes the Black Panther.
In case you all have forgotten who the Avengers actually are, it consists of obviously Captain America, Iron Man, the Iron Patriot, although he did get busted up pretty bad, so we're not sure if we're going to see him or not. But the Iron Patriot, Hulk,
which we didn't see in that one either.
No, but Hulk, Hawkeye,
Spider-Man
Black Widow, Spider-Man, Ant-Man, which
was weird. That was weird.
That was a surprise one because I never foresaw Spider-Man in there. But it's going to consist of the Avengers, and from people that I work with at Walmart down the road here, they're hugely into superheroes as well as I am. But they've been dropping things like we might see actual other teams getting involved, teams being like the Avengers, or I'm hoping that if this is the true case, I'm hoping that they stick with Marvel, actually sticks with the comics, and Stan Lee actually writes in other teams as well. Because if you remember, for those of you like me, if you remember in the comics, there wasn't just the Avengers in Infinite War. It consists of the Avengers, then a couple of anti-heroes like Blade, Deadpool, Cable, stuff like that.
Deadpool wasn't even in Apocalypse, by the way. He was in the last X-Men that they came out with, where his mouth was shown shut. This one, he wasn't even in it, which I guess is better off than him being shown shut.
Sidetrack, sorry. We also didn't get to see Sabretooth. There's another one that we didn't get
Wolverine's
to see.
brother.
But I think they killed him off, and I think that...
Well, he died really early on anyway.
I think that they killed him off, and by him being dead, they just kind of played with it, because Sabretooth really isn't a big player in X-Men. At least I don't think so. It was just
mostly the Wolverine backstory. That's really only the time they really talked about Sabretooth.
I don't really...
It's just Wolverine's little brother, and
he's not
kind of worse off than Wolverine did.
He doesn't really play a huge part.
No, it was just a part of learning Wolverine's backstory and learning where Wolverine came from and seeing him as a person, which I love. So sad to see it, though.
Again, if that being the case, Captain America knows X-Men and knows Wolverine, and hopefully, I hope that Fox does actually do this. They put in a surprise team, and they go, "Here, X-Men, here you go."
What do you mean, surprise team?
Like they don't announce who's in it other than exactly the Avengers, and they just are like, "Oh, by the way, obviously the Avengers," and then make it like they did when they finally introduced the Scarlet Witch and I believe Quicksilver. In that movie where they were fighting,
they're not really a part of
in that movie where they were with the Vision there. But anyway, so it'll be interesting to see if Fox actually sticks with this and puts them in there. They'll have so many fans, it'll be ridiculous. The other one that I'd like to see actually go there, but he's a smart aleck, taking his time, can care less. He's only after one person only, and that's Francis, is Deadpool. I'd love to see Deadpool finally just join up with the X-Men, so... But,
he makes fun of the X-Men in his own movie. He's like, there's only two of you in this house? It's like almost they couldn't afford another X-Men movie.
Yeah, but
so, I don't know. It would be fun to see Deadpool mix it up with some X-Men, and I know that Wolverine isn't going to be in the next one because of how the Easter egg set up, which I'm not going to get into. But if Deadpool came in and kind of had like a mix up with like Quicksilver or some of the other guys, that would be funny. If he tried to teach a class some of the kids at Xavier School, that would be funny. Just on like weaponry, because Deadpool doesn't really have any powers besides growing back hands and other ligaments.
Actually, he's a mutant.
So he could go to the X-Men school.
He could go to the X-Men school.
Maybe we'll do a background of him and he'll show up.
But anyway, for those of you that actually follow along, it's going to be interesting to see. They are making another Deadpool movie, by the way.
Which I said yesterday at the end.
Yes.
I told you guys the Easter egg. So.
But if you pay attention to Deadpool, he actually discovers that there's more to Deadpool than everyone thought. I know a lot of you remember him having one of the vanishing power that Nightcrawler has. Yeah, because if you remember in X-Men, he has the vanishing power.
See, I don't remember Deadpool in the X-Men movie at all. I had to look it back up. I know, babe. Once he told me Deadpool was in it, I'm like, wait, what? So I had to type it in online, and he didn't have any lines. He didn't stand out to me. I don't even remember him vanishing or doing anything. I don't remember him in the movie. He was not memorable.
He vanished on top of the thing because he got behind Sabretooth, and that's when X-Men and Sabretooth had to fight together back to back because he kept going like this between them. But the difference between Nightcrawler and Deadpool is that Deadpool can only go short distances. Nightcrawler can go as far as he sees.
Or if he's been there before, he said.
Exactly.
Which is kind of cool.
And that's kind of what you have to pay attention to in the X-Men movie at the same time, because it leads to bigger events.
But babe, if they put Deadpool back in one of the X-Men movies, they can't put him in Deadpool like the new movie Deadpool where he's in his red and black mask. He's going to have to be like the last X-Men movie they had him in. He's going to have... Well, they can't just have naked Deadpool.
They did his back.
Hold on, babe. They cannot just have naked Deadpool with weird scars and his mouth sewn shut with not being able to talk, and then transform him into the butterface Deadpool who's hilarious and talks all the time.
Yes, they can.
How?
Because they did his backstory in Deadpool, and because this is what I was explaining to you about everybody owning a different superhero. So, for example, if Fox were to give up the X-Men, which they're not going to, and give it to Disney, Disney could rewrite the backstory.
I understand that part, but you already they already put out what Deadpool looks like to X-Men. They can't just all of a sudden reinvent him and make him different. It doesn't connect like that. They can't do that for the storyline. They can't just go from having this certain looking Deadpool to the other one.
Yes, they can.
It would mess up the entire storyline. He wouldn't be... They already used Deadpool in that certain way, babe. They can't just have two different Deadpools.
Right, but there's Colossus in the Deadpool movie. Who knows what he looks like now?
I understand that, babe, but they already showed Deadpool the way they did in X-Men. They can't show him the way that Deadpool showed himself in his movie, because they're two different Deadpools.
Not really. They're the same.
Alright, we're just gonna fight about it. You guys don't want to even watch that. That's not fun. Nevertheless, I'm right. So overall, to get back to Apocalypse, we got really off track there. What did you think of the movie?
I don't know. I liked it, except for, like I said, the fact that none of them are really in chronological order. And,
yes.
I mean, yeah, all in all, it was a good movie, but again, like I said, they're not really in chronological order, but I can kind of understand what they're doing.
And there's nothing they can do about it now anyway. It's too mixed up. Yeah. They can't just start over new. I mean, if they want to keep going with X-Men, this is the only way they can do it, and I get that. I think that they started off where they did because they didn't think they were going to go back, but then it just got so popular that they just had to keep figuring a way how to remake them. I think that's why they're doing it. So I get it, but God, is it confusing.
Not only that, most of the fans are pissed off that Fox killed off the important people like Jean Grey.
So now they have to go back and show them.
And eventually they killed off Wolverine, and eventually they just kept killing off the X-Men one by one. But, I mean, that's kind of what, I mean, this is in the middle, it's not near the end, at least I don't think it is, but this is kind of what Mystique...
It's doing one of the beginning ones, because we just got Scott and
this is kind of
them together.
This is kind of what Mystique says, that, you know, she kind of hints that, you know, previous X-Men were killed off, and stuff like that. So, I guess, all in all, because they're going back and redoing most of it, they're doing alright for what they put out.
I liked the storyline. I liked learning about Apocalypse's background, that he's from Egypt, and I guess in the beginning they show that they do this ritual so we can transfer bodies, because he burns out the bodies really quickly, I guess, and he also gains more powers by every body he takes over. So, he transferred, he was trying when the whole thing collapsed, the whole tombs collapsed on him. It looks like the outside people were completely against him taking over, which was a good idea because he's Apocalypse. He was gonna make an apocalypse, but they stopped it. But he was gonna transfer over to someone who was like Deadpool, who could heal and couldn't die, and that would have been horrible because then he would have been immortal and he would have made the apocalypse. So it's a good thing that they stopped that. But later on in the movie, like in the middle of it, they find him and release him on accident, kind of, I guess. I don't know. And he makes Storm evil. He makes the Wing guy evil. He makes a couple people evil.
I don't necessarily think that he makes them evil as much as he gives them ultimate.
He twisted how he looked, how he saw the apocalypse. He didn't see it as destruction and taking over. I mean, halfway through the movie, he takes over Xavier's brain when he's in No.
Oh, yeah, that helmet that he puts on there. I can never remember.
Cerebro. Thank you. When he's in Cerebro, he takes over his mind because he has also a mind-reading power. He has like amazing powers, a lot of them, because he just keeps sucking them away from other people throughout decades. So he has way too many to even think about. But he makes everyone get rid of all their nuclear wars, and just sends them up to the sky, so it doesn't like hurt anybody. He's just like so much destruction. There's so many weapons. We don't need this, and like that's great. And he's like we don't need all this electricity. We need to get back to being natural and living off the land, which is great. And so he kind of uses that to get Storm and everybody on his side. And then he gets Magneto and starts tearing the world apart and the magnetic fields from underneath the ocean. He's lifting up boats left and right. I'm sure he could lift up Titanic at some point. And it got out of hand. But he definitely used a nice side to the apocalypse to try and get everyone on his side in the beginning. You know, like so much death and destruction and so many electronics. We don't need all these weapons, and so he sees things like he's not destroying the world. He's trying to remake it a better way. So he's evil, but he has good intentions. I really liked his backstory and actually seeing how he thought. He didn't just wake up and just say fuck the world. He didn't just wake up and say, hey, this world sucks, let's blow it up and start over. He had a reason to do it, and he just went about the wrong way. So it's nice to see him as a person. I mean, you know, at some point he was literally just an Egyptian person, and somehow just started accumulating all these powers. He obviously wasn't the first. He wasn't just a plain human at first. He did say at one point he was calling everyone my son, my daughter. I'm your father. I'm everyone's father. I was the first mutant. He said that on multiple occasions that he was the first mutant. So I think that he was. I think he was the first mutant. He was the first one born with, you know, we have no clue what his original power was because he has too many to even know. But he was the first mutant and just started accumulating more and more and more. And throughout the movie, he's trying to get humans to back down and trying to get all mutants to take over the world. Mutants should be head of the world. They should be the leaders because they have power. And that we lost that mutants shouldn't be feared and be hiding. Humans should be hiding and should be feared. So that's kind of half what Apocalypse was trying to do. He was trying to get it back so mutants were ruling, and that ultimately would have been good because I kind of agree. But he did go about the wrong way of doing it, so that kind of made him evil. But like I said, it was a really good storyline. I really liked seeing it. It was nice.
Fox did really well with this one, and at least that's my opinion. They really did. I mean, yeah, there were some parts that I just didn't really like, but hey, for what they put out, they did really well. Also, another thing too is I know I'm forgetting one of your guys' favorite superheroes because there's nothing mentioned about him, and his name is Gambit. There's legitimately nothing at all mentioned about him whatsoever in any of this movie at all. The same thing with the same thing with Colossus, Iceman.
Right, all the ones we listed earlier.
Yeah, all the ones in Rogue.
So let's wrap it up because we're going on half an hour now or something. Overall, how many stars out of 5? 5 being the best, 1 being worst.
4.25.
I would say 4 too.
4.25.
It was entertaining. At one point, he did say that he was bored. They were kind of dragging on a couple of those pieces. You know, the whole I want to help the world, but I'm gonna do it in a horrible way. They got into it, but they got into it a lot. Like, it was very repetitive for about, you know, half the movie. So the background was nice to know, but they got into it too much. I mean, maybe they'll use it more in the next one, and that's why they had to get into it so much. But they spent a little too much time on it, I think. So I give it 4 out of 5 stars too.
Spoiler alert. Pay attention for Stan Lee. That's
Yes,
all I have
Stan
to
Lee
say.
pops up. That's not going to ruin the story.
No.
It is in the end. So, but Stan Lee, he kind of pops up in all of his Marvel movies somehow. Anyway, he was the DJ in
just in
Deadpool.
case you're keeping track.
Right. Just in case you guys are watching this and they're like, oh, well, there he is. He does pop up. I believe it's with his wife.
Oh yeah, you get a good close up of
Oh
Stan
yeah,
Lee's
and
face.
it's not like a glimpse. It's like, oh hey, Stan Lee, what's up? I think he has a line or two.
He did this on purpose.
Yeah, he does.
All right. Anyway,
4 out of 5 stars, and he did 4.5. So we're pretty even on what we thought. So thank you for watching, and he keep trying to remind me. I keep forgetting. Please hit the subscribe button if you are ready to see my videos. I post them daily if you want to see me. He is going to be here on Sundays, some Saturdays, because today is Saturday. Tomorrow Sunday, I don't know what we're going to do tomorrow.
we'll keep you updated.
But Sundays is Sunday getting Hermit wife out of the house with Ryan. I know. Oh my god, I'm leaving the house.
So drop a like on this video if you really enjoyed it.
Please like my videos. If you have seen my other videos, go back and like them because it helps a lot. And I know a lot of people are adding me on my Facebook page. I have my Hermit Wife Facebook page. If you're adding yourself to my Facebook page, you should also subscribe to my YouTube. It kind of helps each other. I'm also on Instagram under Kendra Hermit Wife, so you can find me there. I have all my links in my description here, so make sure you like this video and all my previous and hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.